Hello and welcome to Ryno's Orioles Report. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Yeah, very sad and disappointing series again, and in more ways than one. After the blown lead Friday night, Mike Elias decided to, assuming this is only Mike Elias' decision, decided to let manager Brandon Hyde go. So it is somewhat disappointing. And I know I've sat here and said I don't agree with some of this decision or that decision or whatnot with Brandon Hyde. It doesn't mean that I wanted him gone more. I wanted him to just, stop making the bad decisions. Well, it got to be a little too much, and to a certain extent, some of it is more Mike Elias' fault than the player's fault, more than Brandon Hyde's fault. Though, as I have mentioned, and I feel like they've mentioned it on the broadcast as well, it is kind of a perfect storm of suckiness for the Orioles. Bad GM decisions, bad managerial decisions, bad player decisions, bad players making the plays, or players making bad plays, umpires making bad calls, your opponent making fantastic plays, and it has come together in this perfect storm to leave the Orioles with a 333 win percentage, winning a third of your games. Not that great. Let Brandon Hyde out, Tony Mansolino, third base coach and infield coach, now the interim manager. No news yet if we're assuming, and based on some of the questions that were asked during interviews, there's not going to be another managerial hire this year. Buck Britton has taken up a little bit more responsibilities that Mansolino had as a coach instead of the manager. Yes, Buck Britton, third base coach now. Buck Britton, manager of Norfolk Tides most recently before his promotion, so he does know this organization. He does know the team. He does know the players, at least most of the players. Some of the players that have come in over, like say Tyler O'Neill and Gary Sanchez, and what other new additions we got, probably doesn't know too well, but it's still more than 90% of the players. So we'll see if this decision moving forward was the right one or not. Well, I mean, as history would show, they don't make good decisions, so it'll probably be a bad decision. Who knows? Let's get to game one. Friday night's game. Washington Nationals 4, Baltimore Orioles 3. Yeah. Screwed the pooch on this one. Made 2 errors late that allowed runners to score. Yeah. Very disappointing. Henderson leadoff. Wow. One of the worst performances by Gunnar Henderson at a leadoff spot I've ever seen, and I think at this point it should never happen again. Henderson over with 4 strikeouts. Mountcastle hit in second. To a certain extent, it does have to do with Mountcastle finally turning it on a bit. And 2, you kind of want that righty up there at the top of the lineup, especially if Gunnar Henderson is going to be in there 1 or 3. Mountcastle with 1 hit. Good there. Rutschman, 3 hits out of the 3-hole. Nice to see him hitting. Ramon Laureano getting cleanup duties. 4 hits with an RBI. Big problem here in this game was the Orioles had so many hits and so many opportunities. And while they did get hits with runners in scoring position, 4 for 15, which is better than they had been doing, but you had the opportunities to tack on more runs, and you just couldn't do it. Too many strikeouts with the bases loaded. Mainly by some of these guys down here at the bottom of the lineup. Yeah. O'Hearn, 2 hits and 2 walks. Kerstad coming in late. Defensive replacement? That is laughable. Again, bad decisions by the GM. Also, bad decisions by players, like, say, Cowser. So now Kerstad is thrust into more of an outfielder role, and so is O'Hearn, and they're not that good. You got O'Neill that can't play because, well, he's got a chronic injury problem. Shoulder this time. I'll get to an article about that in a minute. Or maybe several minutes. Know how long I take to do this. Yeah, Kerstad, defensive replacement late. Wow, that just sounds so weird to say because he's not that good of a defensive outfielder. But whatever. Ramon Laureano, 0 though he did have an RBI and a walk. Sacrifice fly. Jackson Holiday, 3 hits and an RBI. Okay. Mullins, 0 though he did walk once. Struck out 3 times. Jorge Mateo, 1 hit, also struck out 3 times. Yeah, lots of strikeouts. Too many strikeouts. 15 outs by strikeouts in this game for the Nationals. Manuel Rivera pinch hitting late. 0 in his only opportunity. Ramon Laureano, Rutschman, and Holiday with doubles. Only extra base hits to speak of. Mateo had 2 stolen bases. Mullins and Holiday caught stealing. Mullins also gets credited with being picked off. Yay! Part of your scoring woes there. Soto, as in Gregory Soto, Felix Bautista, throwing errors. And somehow, oddly enough, all the runs were earned, which is so weird. But, whatever. Cade Povich got to start in this game, and it's pretty shitty that you wasted a good performance by Povich and the 2 pitchers coming in after him because Aiken and Bautista blew the leads. Yeah, that's what happens. To a certain extent, for some of these guys, I'm going to say with Soto and Bautista, it's because of lack of pitching. They just don't pitch enough. You're a quarter of the way through the fucking season, and some of these assholes ain't even close to 20 innings pitched. That's wrong. That's wrong. Actually, I would like to look at that. I think I did look at this with Soto before. Soto is at 14 2/3 innings pitched. I know Aiken's up there. Where's Baker at? Baker is at 19 innings pitched. But you see the difference there? It's a huge difference. Now you're going to say, oh, it's only 1 inning. Or it's only a few innings. Right, but you are a 1 inning guy. So that averages out to almost 2 days off, 2 games off. That's not good. It allows the rust to set in, and it just doesn't keep your skill set sharp, and I've been saying that. And I think it's rearing its ugly head right now, or it reared its ugly head in this series. Povich final line, 5 2/3 innings pitched, gives up 3 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, strikes out 9. It's a really good performance by the young man. It really is. And Gregory Soto is credited with getting only 2 outs, doesn't give up a hit or an earned run, but does walk a batter and strike a batter out. Come into this inning, the 6th inning, where Soto ends up relieving Cade Povich. Povich starts the inning out with a walk. Surprising that Brandon Hyde didn't pull him, because that's kind of a Brandon Hyde thing. But you see what happens when he doesn't. You get rewarded. Strikeout swinging, ground out. And of course, here's the problem here, because you walked probably one of the fastest runners that the Nationals have. Of course, you walked him. Steals second base, and then advances to third on a pass ball. Cool. And then you give up one base hit. Mediocre, shouldn't do any damage, base hit with 2 outs. Runner scores. Soto in and gets the next man to fly out. Here in the 7th inning is where it kind of fell apart for Soto. Gets a strikeout on a foul tip, so good there. Walks a guy. Nothing good happens after a walk. Oh, actually, this runner actually didn't score, did he? That's why. Okay. However, so Mr. Tena hits the ball to Soto, and it's like, all right, double play. Well, counted your chickens before they hatch because Soto's got to throw the ball to second base. And he doesn't throw it to second base. He throws it into center field. Of course, at the same time, man, it's just watching it, especially from that camera that's behind home plate. Damn, we're so close to covering. We're so close to covering his ass on that play. Thankfully, yes, no runners scored out of it, but Soto just yanks his ball. It did kind of end up more center field, but more on the right field side of center. So Jackson Holliday coming behind the base because he wasn't covering the base. Who the hell was playing shortstop? What's his name? That guy, shortstop man. He was covering the bag. Henderson. And of course you're thinking, oh, well, he's kind of on his way there. Couldn't he have blocked it? You would think that, but changing the direction, diving, just this far away from being able to stop it from getting by him. But again, thankfully, didn't score out of that. Whatever. So advances to second and third, and then, of course, he gets a strikeout. Well, Baker. Bringing on Baker to get out of the jam, and Baker comes through again. To a certain extent, that's been why Baker's gotten a lot of opportunities. He's been coming through in big moments. Not that Soto or Dominguez or Cano or Batista ever have or haven't. It's just they're not getting a lot of opportunities. You don't get, this team has not gotten to the 7th or the 8th inning with a lead that often, so it's just not. According to Brandon Hyde, the innings weren't there for guys like Soto or Dominguez or Cano. Baker has been more of a front end of the bullpen kind of guy. So he's been getting the reps. And it's allowed his skills to be sharper. That's just an opinion, I guess. So yes, final line, Baker, 2/3 of innings pitched, no hits, no runs, no walks, 2 strikeouts. Aiken in. Did Aiken give up a home run? Yeah, he gave up a home run to Wood. Pitching the full 8th inning, 1 hit, 1 run, no walks, 1 strikeout for Aiken. Blowing the save because they tied the game. But here comes Felix Batista in the 9th inning. Got to get Batista some work. Got to find a way to get him some work. Coming in with a tie game. Felix Batista. What did he do? Let's go over what he actually did. Now, yes, command has plagued Batista before. It's not like he comes out there and, paint corners and shit. Walks Mr. Cruz, walks Jose Tena. Come on, man. I mean, it's the bottom of the lineup. These are the bottom 4 guys in the lineup. And Cruz, Tena, Garcia, and Nunez. Bottom 4 guys in the lineup. 2 walks, a ground out, and a single. Single was because he beat it out. So, of course, here you go with the 2 walks. You did get a caught stealing. So we got one there. Holy shit. But Tena out here, able to move up on a ground out because shallow infielder Ramon Arias, of course, couldn't be a deep grounder and maybe get the runner at second. Oh well, then here comes Nunez. kind of a little bit of a slower hit ball. It was hit in that real in-between spot between the first baseman and the second baseman where you got to make a decision right away. Second baseman either fields it, and so the first baseman can get back to first, or the first baseman has to field it and hope the pitcher can get there in time. Well, that didn't happen. Or at least the pitcher with the ball didn't get to the base in time. Did Mountcastle throw it late? I don't know. Fielded it cleanly. The toss seemed to be on location. The catch was fine. It's just a big man like Felix Bautista not doing much of anything. And I know, yeah, pitchers fielding practice and all that shit, but yeah, I mean, he's not an infielder. He doesn't move as fluidly as somebody else would. And at the same time, this is Nasim Nunez, Mr. Fast Guy, able to beat Batista to the bag. And of course, Batista, I don't know what you're doing there. Okay, you touch first. You're not going to pay any attention to the runner. It wasn't the third out, so I don't know what you were... What you doing? Forget how many outs there were? Because you got to field your position? You're not used to it because you're a closer? Well, yeah. Yeah, that's about it. So, of course, Mr. Tena just practically walked home. Because, of course, Batista did realize it because everybody's yelling at him. And then tries to... I mean, it looked like he was throwing to Jacoby Jones in that playoff game. Like, where are you throwing the ball? Trying to do his best Joe Flacco to Jacoby Jones impression. He's trying to recreate the Mile High Miracle in Camden Yards. It's not going to work, man. It don't work. So, yeah. Blew it. Just blew it. And then, of course, holiday singles. Cedric striking out. Holiday caught steal. Yup. Game 2. At this game, yeah. What a coincidence. You get there, and it's like, oh yeah, hours before, fire Brandon Hyde on the day I show up. Oh, that seems about right, don't it? Here you go, Angry Ryno. Here's a gift for you. We're going to finally listen to you. Not exactly what I was telling you to do, but however. Washington Nationals 10, Baltimore's 6. The Nationals made 2 errors in this damn game. Jackson Holiday back up at the leadoff spot. Did a little bit better today to a certain extent. Some of this shit was in garbage time. So, who knows how accurately can you assess how well Holiday did at leadoff spot. 2 hits and 3 RBIs is pretty good, though. Ryno Hearn batting second. Yeah. You can imagine some of the things I was saying when I saw that lineup come out. Holy shit. Ryno Hearn, 0 with a walk. What the fuck? I think Gunnar Henderson. Yeah, that's right. 3 straight left-handed hitters to start the game. Or start the lineup for the Orioles. Yeah. Henderson a hit. 3 strikeouts. Rutschman starting the game at DH. And you can also hear, and fix the website, there's a DH and a C there. Yeah. That's why I don't like when Rutschman DHs. That's why I don't like it. But that's fine. Keep doing it. Morons. Rutschman with 1 hit. Mullins over. Arias a hit and an RBI. Kerstad with 2 hits. Well, finally the guy hit something. Because he sure couldn't hit no damn cutoff man in this game. Holy shit. If I thought Batista was trying to recreate the Mile High Miracle, Kerstad, holy shit. Trying to launch some balls from the right field corner over to third base. What is you doing, man? I don't know why they don't call some of that shit an error, but it allows guys to move up because you throwing. It's like you were trying to throw the ball to Washington. Ryno 2 hits and an RBI. Maverick Hanley. And this is where the shit gets crazy. Because again, Rutschman DHing. Hanley with an offer. So late in the game, of course you want to pinch hit somebody. You pinch hit Emmanuel Rivera, who did nothing in his only plate appearance. Well, now Rutschman has to go in there and catch, because this wasn't the ninth inning. So Rutschman has to go in there and catch. So yeah, Perez, Cano, Dominguez, they're all slated in there to hit. Jorge Mateo ends up being the actual guy to come up and hit later. Does get a hit and an RBI. So that kind of worked. Liriano, Rutschman, Holiday with doubles. Holiday also with a home run. Kyle Gibson got the start in this game. Whew! That's somebody else that's being let go. Or maybe sent back down to the minors. We'll see. 2 outs. Guy gets 2 outs in the first inning. Gives up 6 hits, 6 runs, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. Team just can't get right. They just can't get right at all. Except for maybe the 2 idiots that come in after Gibson. I don't know where the hell these assholes have been this entire season, but I wish we would see more performances like this. Whew! Covering 7 innings between Charlie Morton and CNL Perez. Yeah, that's right. Charlie Morton coming in to relieve Kyle Gibson. Oh, shit. And then he strikes the guy out to get out of the inning. Holy shit. 4 1/3 inning pitch for Charlie Morton gives up 2 hits. That's right, only 2 hits. 1 run. That's right, only 1 run. And 1 walk in more than 4 innings pitched. What? 6 strikeouts. What? Where the fuck has this been the entire time, Charlie Morton? Where has that been? The hell is your problem? The only thing I can think of, and yeah, I'm sure that maybe there's something as in like Charlie Morton is trying this, he's trying that, he's trying this, and he finally finding something to work. Maybe. Or possibly you schedule your starters. Or you have your rotation, so even if you don't admit who or tell the media who is scheduled to start, the teams can kind of guess and then kind of prepare for the starting pitcher. Are teams preparing for Charlie Morton when he's scheduled to start? Do they have really good tape on him? So they're seeing all his mannerisms. What are his mannerisms when he throws a fastball, when he throws a changeup, when he throws a curveball, sinker? And then can you identify that easier? Do you better understand through watching film how he wants to work a hitter? Now he's thrown into the bullpen, so now are you watching the same amount of film on Charlie Morton? I would assume no. So therefore you're a little less prepared to face Charlie Morton when he's not scheduled to start? Don't know. You know? I mean, you can prepare, if you're expecting a starting pitcher to get a start, you will probably spend a little extra time watching film or facing a scout team. It's a little different than football because the idea is you're gonna face them for about 5 innings ish, right? Something like that. Is it the same for a bullpen arm? No, not really. But I assume you're watching something, but probably not as much as for a starting pitcher. So is that aiding Charlie Morton? Because he's actually pitched fairly well in the bullpen. If we'd have gotten the same kind of numbers, bullpen Charlie Morton, instead of starter Charlie Morton, things might be a little different. But for some reason, we get good Charlie Morton out of the bullpen, and we get bad Charlie Morton when he starts. I don't know. Whatever. Cino Perez pitching 2 2/3. That's right, 7 combined innings between these two idiots. Jesus. Where has this been? No hits, no runs, no walks, 3 strikeouts. What? Again, where the hell has that been? Where? Where has that been the entire season? I don't know. Somebody lit a fire up somebody's ass. I don't know. Yanier Cano seemed like he could need a fire up his ass. Pitching 2/3 of an inning. Gives up 1 hit, 1 run, no walks, no strikeouts. Sir Anthony Dominguez, need another fire up his ass. Pitching 2/3 of an inning, gives up 2 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. Of course, to a certain extent, again, Cano, Dominguez not pitching a lot. Let's look at Dominguez's innings. Dominguez does not have that many innings on the year. 14 innings. Again, we're more than a quarter of the way through the season. You multiply that by 4, what is that? 56. 56 innings in a 162 game season. That's not good. That's not good. It is 1 inning every 3 games. However, it finally righted this. Well, that's weird. Oh wait, I don't know. Stupid website. So yeah, the first game under Tony Mansolino didn't go that well, though to a certain extent, Orioles scored 4 in their half of the ninth. They didn't exactly roll over. Now they gave up 3 runs in the top half of the ninth, but at least you can say they didn't roll over. Game 3, Sunday's game. Washington Nationals 10, Baltimore Orioles 4. Holiday leading off again, 2 hits and an RBI. Working all right now. You didn't hit over the weekend, but you got some hits now. Mountcastle hitting second again, DHing in this game. Does get 1 hit. Henderson back in there, a 3-hole. Hit an RBI, also walked once. Rutschman, your cleanup hitter. I really want Rutschman a little further down the lineup, but however. Over. Ryno Hearn, 2 hits. Ramon Laureano, 1 hit. Mullins, 2 hits, 2 RBIs. Yeah, Mullins was in a mini slump there. Hopefully he gets righted. Kerstad, Ofer. Why does this guy get so much playing time? I mean, I know why, because no O'Neill and no Cowser. So now you're at, what would that make Kerstad? Your 6th, 7th option for outfielder? Yeah, you're going to have worse play. Emmanuel Rivera, over. That's disappointing. He was doing good. Mullins with a double, O'Hearn with a double, Mullins with a home run. Henderson and Holiday also with home runs. Some guy named Stroud, some weirdo named Stroud with a throwing error. Yeah, that's Cade Stroud. Get to the article in a minute, but yeah, Gibson DFA. Cade Stroud brought up from Norfolk. Ah, man, come on, Zach Eflin. Say it ain't so. Zach Eflin is starting this one, probably the worst start. I don't know if it's the worst start in his career, but it is the worst start in his Orioles career. 5 1/3 inning pitch, gives up 10 hits, 8 runs, all earned, no walks, 4 strikeouts. Man, whoo! Some bad play all around for this team. Whoo! Again, somebody got to light a fire up all these asses here. And sadly, firing Brandon Hyde is probably the leading idea of how to do that if you're Mike Elias. Because you got to think Brandon Hyde has tried everything. You would have to believe that. The kind of funk this team is in this season, yeah. You would assume that Brandon Hyde had done anything he could to light a fire under these assholes, make right decisions, set these guys up for success. Of course, he's out there not throwing Dominguez and Soto and all these guys, but whatever. But yet, you're using some of these arms at the front end of the bullpen like Petit and Blewett and Bowman. You're sending all these guys away because they're just working so much and you need fresher arms. Well, should have been using Dominguez and Soto and Cano. Something Mansolito apparently, if you notice that, in a losing effort, Cano and Dominguez finished the game. He got them in there. Didn't have to. I mean, the game was over as it was. You know. But I guess, I'm only assuming here. He knew they were really light on innings. And if you want to have a chance there, you got to have some kind of talent at the back end. You really do. Otherwise, you're just going to give up more runs. Of course, they ended up giving up more runs, but maybe if their skill set was a little sharper, maybe that doesn't happen. Who knows? Aiken on in relief of Eflin, finishing out the 6th inning and then pitching the full 7th inning. No hits, no runs, no walks, 2 strikeouts. Well, there you go. Where the hell was that? Friday night, asshole. Oh, Baker, say they so, man. Pitching the full 8th inning. Yes, 1 hit, 1 run. Very disappointing. Yes, home run to Mr. Bell. Oh, well. And then he strikes out the side. All right, whatever. Here you go, Cade Stroud. We're getting our asses kicked. Might as well put you in there anyway. So, getting the guys some work in, maybe saving some of your bullpen, maybe, I guess. Some of these guys really need to pitch, so whatever. Pitching the full 9th inning, gives up 2 hits, 1 run, no walks, 1 strikeout. So, got your major league debut, got your first major league strikeout. At least I assume. Honestly, barely know who the hell this is. I am vaguely aware of his presence. I just wasn't on my radar as far as somebody that would get a call up anytime soon. Of course, how many assholes injured. So, that's part of it. Like their 20th option for a starting pitcher. And I feel like, he is more of a starting pitcher than a relief pitcher. Excuse me. However, we'll see going on the road here. Gotta do something. Article here written by Rock Kabatko. Yeah, I mean, Mansolino as the manager. This is him right here. This article more on pointing out the fact that Tyler Wells having another bullpen session, 5th, I think, Rock mentions. No reported setbacks, which is cool, nice, wonderful. Other article here, also by Rock Kabatko, talking about the Gibson DFA, bringing up Cade Stroud. Now, at this point, it's not an outright release or cutting. To a certain extent, I feel, reading this article, that the Orioles organization would like this to be a reset for Kyle Gibson. They signed him real late. He had less appearances in the minor leagues than I feel like Gibson or the organization really wanted. It's just they had a need for starting pitching. McDermott wasn't back yet. Rogers wasn't back yet. They had nobody available. Brandon Young got injured. Or just maybe that happened after. I don't even remember anymore. I mean, so many pitchers. So, I think the idea here is go back down. Do your spring training thing, man. get fully ready to go instead of only 3 starts and then we're throwing you into the fire because we need you. So we'll see if he clears waivers. Also talking about Cowser, he actually did an interview over the weekend. Yeah, first time in a long time. Now it would appear that we're getting long here. It would appear that Cowser has been medically cleared to resume baseball activities. No limitations as far as Rock Botko, Masson, On Air Masson or Masson Sports. Not seeing anything anywhere that says Cowser has restrictions. So it would appear that just like what's happening with Gibson. Spring training ramp up phase kind of thing. Whenever he's done that, he should be ready to go. Whether he'll hit or not, or who knows. But physically and medically that is not the issue anymore. The issue is being in game shape, to steal a football term. Also in this article is talking about the Tyler O'Neill. Yeah, back on the DL. I mean, injured list. Dude, it was the disabled list for so long. Oh, no. I was doing good. IL injured list, 10-day injured list with shoulder thing. Yeah, all right. Dylan Carlson, you're back. Maybe we'll see you get into the game. Instead of, seeing Heston Kjerstad blow it in the outfield, launching the ball, just like I'm trying to throw it to those fans over, on the left side of the field. Yeah, but you're in right field, dude. You're supposed to be throwing the ball into second base. Oh, well, I knew that. Oh, did you? Why didn't you do it? All right, let's wrap this up. Get the hell out of here. Today, Monday, no off day, no rest for the wicked. Or the shitty. I guess they should be in Milwaukee already, facing the Brewers for a 3-game set. Monday's game, today's game scheduled 7:40. Tuesday's game is also scheduled 7:40. Wednesday's game scheduled 1:10. Then no off day Thursday, going to be in Boston. So that is going to do it for this edition of Ryno's Orioles Report. Please stay tuned for Thursday, and I will discuss the series between the Baltimore Orioles and the Milwaukee Brewers. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I am the Angry Ryno, and this is Birdland.